I think this fish is following me.
Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof.
If you're thinking of moving to Myrtle Beach and you're unsure what area would be best for you, this video is for you, because today we're going to be talking about all the major suburbs in Myrtle Beach while we're walking on the beach. Maybe we see something cool.
Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
Hi, my name is Lance with Mango Homes. If this is your first time to the channel, we talk about everything that you need to know about living in Myrtle Beach and enjoying everything it has to offer. If this sounds like it's for you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below and make sure to hit the notification bell, because if you don't, then YouTube might not show you the next video when it comes out. Seems like every week somebody's reaching out to talk about making a move here from where they're at, because home isn't necessarily as homey as it used to be. And with a place like this, how can you blame them, right? Anyway, if you're one of those people and you feel like you want to reach out, my phone number is on the screen, as well as my email. You can call, text, or email. If I am there, I will get it. And if I'm not, I'll get it as soon as I can. What is Myrtle Beach? Myrtle Beach is not just the area downtown with the Skywheel and all the big hotels and everything, right? Myrtle Beach is 50 miles of beach, along with, I think, 14 different municipalities. When someone says, hey, I'm gonna move to Myrtle Beach, that could mean a lot. I mean, you could be up near the North Carolina border all the way down here to where I am at the South Point Beach in Pawleys Island. It's kind of like New York City. When somebody says they live in New York, man, that could mean a lot. It's like, you know, I live in Brooklyn, or I live in Queens, Harlem, Manhattan, whatever, right? Same thing here, just way less small. Way less big. I think I got sunstroke already. So when talking about the beach, there's some things that apply to all parts of the beach. So let me just knock those out right now. The weather. Obviously it's hot. Summertime, it's hot. Fall, it's not as hot. It's actually decent enough to come down here probably up until Thanksgiving. Then after that, you don't want to put your feet in the water because it's cold as hell. Come January, mid-January, early February, may or may not get some ice. Might drop below freezing during the night. Rarely happens during the day. Springtime hits probably beginning of March. Then the whole thing starts all over again. Now, I will say one thing. It is a little cooler here near the ocean than it is inland. That way, right over there, because the sea breeze. In fact, you could probably hear it picking up on my mic. That's why I'm on the backside of the creek right here. I'm hoping that the wind isn't so horrible back here and you could actually hear me. But it's actually cooler the closer you get to the shore. So if that's a concern, keep that in mind. Gonna turn back around and walk the other way for a little bit here. So another commonality are the schools. Now, if you have little ones and you're thinking of moving here, don't go to those websites online where it's like, you know, hey, we're gonna rate your school, because honestly, those things are all over the place. The best information that you can get into the Facebook groups where you have parents that have kids in those schools. Find out what's important to you, talk to them. That way you know the actual inside scoop on what you're looking at. That's my advice on schools. Now, one other thing, I understand that there are people moving here from all over the country. Myrtle Beach right now, as of yesterday, was declared the #1 destination for people to emigrate to, per U.S. News and World Report. And I think it's the second time this year that it happened. We keep flip-flopping with somebody in Florida. And there went a big fish. God, I wish I would have had the camera on that. So one thing that you'll find here that you won't necessarily see in other parts of the country are charter schools. If you're wondering what those are privately run schools where basically you can come down here and you could say, hey, I want to take the tax money that my kid was going to use to go to the public school, and I want to use that to go to that private school over there. That's basically a charter school, and there's a few of them at the beach. Pretty neat. So outdoor activities. Golfing everywhere. Kayaking, hiking, biking. Anything you can imagine you can do down here everywhere. There's no one good place where it's like, hey, I want to go fishing. There's fishing everywhere. Case in point, these guys. I talked to them when I came down here. They said they hadn't caught anything. Another commonality that you'll find all over the beach, I really do think the sun's getting to me, is healthcare. Myrtle Beach is basically broken up into 3 chunks, and each of those chunks has its own huge hospital and hospital network with it. Starting down here in the south, you've got Wachesaw Hospital. In central Myrtle Beach, you've got Grande, Strand. And in the north, you've got McLeod Seacoast. And each one of those hospitals has their own network of specialists, practitioners, the whole 9 yards. So if you have medical needs when you do move here, you're taken care of. And we're turning back around again. So another commonality all over Myrtle Beach, price points. So if you're looking at a particular price point, you can't necessarily say, oh, that area of the beach is high or that area of the beach is low, because honestly, it's all over the place. Neighborhoods are neighborhoods. There are expensive neighborhoods and there are more affordable neighborhoods. And it's really interesting. They're really just kind of mashed up together. So if you're like, wow, I really wanted something affordable, but I know I can't live in that part of the beach, well, you might be able to. So Myrtle Beach is kind of sort of organized into 3 rough areas, and I'm going to superimpose a map over my face right now so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. So starting down here where I'm standing is the South Strand. Right in the middle of Myrtle Beach, you'll see a long road. That's 501. That's downtown in the 501 corridor. North of there, going all the way to the North Carolina border, is North Strand. I'm standing in South Strand, so we might as well start here. South Strand has a kind of a carefree, laid-back vibe to it. This is the oldest part of the Grand Strand. Definitely has the Old South vibe. Huge live oaks, Spanish moss, herons and egrets, marshland, big low country manor houses with hammocks on the front porch. This is definitely t-shirts, shorts, and sandals area. If you're familiar with what, I'm trying not to fall in the mud here. Let's not do that. That would be bad. If you're familiar with the Charleston area, the South Strand definitely has kind of a low country vibe to it. It's kind of the same vibe that you get if you watch The Big Chill, if that makes any sense. I really enjoy it down here. This is my favorite part of the beach. But your mileage may vary. As far as price points, the further south you go, the more expensive it generally gets. Let's go back to the map. There's Pawleys Island and Litchfield. Basically, Pawleys Island is a really big barrier island, and the town behind it, it's all lumped together, and they call that Pawleys Island. Litchfield Beach, Litchfield, is right next to it. It's not very commercialized down here. The town makes sure that it stays that way. There aren't that many big chain stores. It's purposely got that small town, southern, old school kind of vibe. Moving up, you've got Murrells Inlet, Garden City, and Surfside Beach. So some people might quibble with this, but I'm gonna say that the heart of that area is basically Murrells Inlet. There's an area called the Marsh Walk. Everybody likes to go there to eat, drink, have fun. There's live music there constantly. It's a really, really cool place to go hang out. I basically think of that as the epicenter of that area. Moving further north with Garden City and Surfside, it starts to get a little more touristy. Surfside Beach is actually really interesting. Surfside bills itself as the family beach, and it's kind of a mix between vacation homes and residential. And there are some of the coolest Caribbean houses up there, the Caribbean style houses where you've got the different coral colors. Some of the coolest houses that I've seen in the beach. I really, really love Surfside. There's Socastee. Socastee kind of sits on top of Surfside. Socastee is a really affordable, more of a blue collar neighborhood, if that makes any sense. Deals can be had in there. There's still development that's building up in there, and it's kind of bringing the price point up in the area. But you can still find deals in there. The last part of what I would call the South Strand is something called Market Common. And there goes the big old seagull. Aw. So the Market Common is its own unique thing. It doesn't necessarily have that old school vibe like the rest of the South Strand. It is an organized, planned community. It is built on top of what used to be an old Air Force base. And it's its own enclosed city almost, if that makes any sense. It's the only place where you can go down a street of coffee shops and little boutiques, and people actually live in and buy the apartments that are above those buildings. There's an abundance of townhouses. It's centered around its own movie theater. It really is its own enclosed little area. It's really interesting. It's almost built out, but they've got some area left that they're developing, but it's going to develop fast. Okay, moving on. Downtown Myrtle Beach in the 501 corridor. I consider that basically to be 501 and anything north of the airport that isn't North Myrtle Beach. It's kind of that big strip that sits in the middle. Downtown and 501 definitely has a busier vibe to it. It is an incredibly popular place to move and an incredibly popular place to live. That is where most of your shopping is going to be. That's where you can find your Costco, your Sam's Club, all of the big chain stores are there. The biggest mall in the whole area is there. Tanger Outlets, all kinds of stuff. Every chain restaurant that you can imagine is parked right on top of there too. As far as stuff to do in the central part of Myrtle Beach, it's actually kind of overwhelming. There's Coastal Carolina University, all the sports that come with that. There's Top Golf. There's Broadway at the Beach. Broadway at the Beach is a huge entertainment center with restaurants and nightclubs, and there's a Hard Rock Cafe there. It used to be a Pyramid Hard Rock Cafe, but they had to tear it down because it was falling apart. It made me sad. All kinds of things to do in the Myrtle Beach area, in the middle of Myrtle Beach, right there downtown. It makes sense because that's where the tourists are, so they want to put all the stuff there, right? Well, here's something cool. Down here you get a lot of turtle nests. This is a turtle nest. They come up in the middle of the night and they lay eggs. Really cool. Okay, so back to the map. Downtown, there's some housing, but honestly, it's mostly commercial and it's mostly tourist. Moving out, you get to Forestbrook. Forestbrook is kind of an established neighborhood. There are some new homes. It's mostly affordable, and it's honestly, the whole road is being redone and the whole area is being expanded. Moving up the street there, you've got Pine Island, Carolina Forest, and River Oaks. Now those three areas are some of the most desirable areas in all of Myrtle Beach, mainly because they're centrally located. They're all relatively new, and there are some really nice homes in there that builders are putting up. A lot of centrally planned communities. It's really, 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 I'm gonna say it's one of the best selling areas in all of Myrtle Beach right now. High demand. Moving out towards the backside of 501, you get to Red Hill and Conway. Now, something you wouldn't necessarily expect down here at the beach, Red Hill and Conway it's like country living. If you're looking for bigger homes, no HOA, you're the kind of person that doesn't want to see your neighbors, maybe you want to grow a big old garden, Conway and Red Hill, that's definitely your kind of vibe. Now let's talk about North Strand. Ow, I just stepped on a shell. I'll cut that out later. Nah, probably not. North Strand is, if South Strand is t-shirts and shorts and sandals, North Strand is polo shirts and Bermuda shorts and boat shoes. That's the best analogy for it up there. North Strand is huge, beautiful planned developments, yachts and marinas on the Intercoastal Waterway. There's theaters and concerts and shows. You can visit a winery, go out on a casino boat for dinner. It's got more of an Outer Banks vibe than it does down here in the south side of Myrtle Beach. Kind of like a Nicholas Sparksy kind of vibe, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm the only guy that ever said Nicholas Sparksy. As far as price points, North Strand honestly is all over the place, and that's really thanks to one big planned development up there that I'll touch on right now, and that's the Grand Dunes. Grand Dunes is the most expensive place to live in all of Myrtle Beach. It is a exclusive community. It stretches from the Intercoastal Waterway all the way to the beach. There's different subsets of housing, different types of housing that you can get inside of there. Honestly, different price points if you want to be really honest about it. They go from, hey, wow, that's expensive to, yeah, no, nobody can afford that. You can get $500,000 houses on up to $1.5 million penthouses right on the beach. I did a review on one of those penthouses, it was about 6 months ago. Wow. Moving north from there, you've got Arcadian Shores, Briarcliffe Acres, and Atlantic Beach. Those are older, more established neighborhoods, really quiet neighborhoods, except for the occasional, hijinks in Atlantic Beach. There's a fair amount of partying, I believe, that goes on in Atlantic Beach. I honestly don't know anything about that. I really don't. I'm like the most boring guy ever. Moving north from there, you've got Barefoot Landing. Barefoot Landing, I believe, is Myrtle Beach's first huge, massive planned community. There is all kinds of housing, and it's anchored with a really big and cool entertainment complex right on the Intercoastal Waterway. Moving north from there is the city of North Myrtle Beach. North Myrtle Beach, the city of North Myrtle Beach is basically, that's like your little commercial hub. That's your shopping hub. That's like your northern cluster of places to go shopping. And there's some really cute houses inside of there. Moving north from there though, that's where you get to a couple really nice places. You've got Little River and you've got Cherry Grove. Now these two places, they're a little more small towny, a little more relaxed, a little more outdoorsy. There's a really cool fishing pier in Cherry Grove. There's a bunch of cute little nature parks up there. And it's actually almost like this, except on the north side of the beach. Got a sandbar coming out of the ocean. You can you look at all the whitecaps out there and you can tell that's where the waves are breaking. Cool thing about that is on this side of those waves where they're breaking, on this side of the sandbar, that's where you find all the really big gnarly shells. Yeah, I'm tempted to go out there and look for shells, but I'm not because I have my camera with me. So I'm just going to settle for this. I found a nice little whelk shell here. This is a really small one, to be honest with you. Let's see if the camera can pick that up. That is a great Atlantic whelk, and you find them a lot bigger than that, like as big as my hand. Anyway, I'm going to settle for that today. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you're thinking about making the move down here, you'll see my contact information on the screen. Feel free to reach out, text, call, or email. With that, I leave you. Thanks for watching.
Down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby around me. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk.